as I check my imaginary watch, I have one thing to say. Pokemon, you need to hurry it up with this Pokemon Home update. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, as we all know, released in November, and since then we've been counting down the months for them to add Pokemon Home. In the recent Pokemon Presents, they said that it was coming in early spring. Except it's already early spring. And we still don't have the Pokemon Home functionality with Scarlet and Violet. It's not a Scarlet and Violet thing, it's a Pokemon Home thing. We just need the update on Pokemon Home so that it is compatible and we can trade back and forth with Scarlet and Violet. We are still waiting. We are still waiting. I am one of the guys who needs Pokemon Home compatible with the newest game on like launch date or at least a weekend. I hate the wait. This happened with BrilliantDiamond and ShiningPearl. Alright, so we're going to talk about what is Pokemon Home, why is this so significant, and why we need it in a hurry. Why would I want Pokemon to hurry up and add this update? Pokemon Home is a free-to-use application on your Nintendo Switch, very similarly to the 3DS Pokemon Bank, where in Pokemon Home, you can deposit and store your Pokemon from the Switch games. So this includes Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Sword and Shield, BrilliantDiamond and ShiningPearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus, and we're still waiting for the functionality for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now in my last video I talked about Pokemon Bank and why it's so significant. You needed to download Pokemon Bank before the eShop closed so that you can download Pokemon Transporter, and that would allow you to get all of your pre-gen Pokemon onto your Nintendo Switch. However, that is one piece of the puzzle. You can have, as long as you have the Pokemon Bank, that means all your Pokemon from your Pokemon 3DS games can be stored into Pokemon Bank, and then it's transferred over to Pokemon Home where you can get it onto the Nintendo Switch. But in order to do that, you have to pay for the Pokemon Home Premium plan. The basic plan lets you have one box where you can store up to 30 Pokemon. That's still really useful. You can still use Pokemon Home to your advantage, where you want to transfer maybe your Pokemon from Sword and Shield to BrilliantDiamond Shining Pearl, or vice versa. Or you want to get your Sword and Shield and your BrilliantDiamond Shining Pearl, and you want all of those, especially your Pokemon Legends Arceus, into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet when the home functionality is added to it. So even with just one box, you can do a lot because you don't need a bunch of boxes. Someone like me really benefits from having the premium plan because you can store up to 6,000 Pokemon. Not 30, 6,000. Why, Cisco, why do you need 6,000 Pokemon? What the heck? I'll tell you why. I play lots of Pokemon, I raise lots of Pokemon, I like to do the competitive, I like to do the shiny hunting, I like to do the ribbon hunting, I like to do it all. So this means I have boxes just for shinies, I have boxes just for competitive Pokemon that I like to transfer to the new games and try to, you know, fix them up for the latest competitive scene, which is what I'm waiting on now. Like, I want to use my Lucario competitively, I want to use my Amoonguss that I had in the last game, or my Grimmsnarl. I don't want to raise a new one. I want to have the one that I raised originally because, you know, Pokemon to me is like the anime. Like, I need to have my original Grimmsnarl. That's the one I raised, that's the one I trained, that's the one I went to competitions with. That is my Grimmsnarl. I want him in Scarlet and Violet. Why am I gonna raise a new one? That's cheating. So you get the point. I like to have my boxes organized, and then obviously I like to have all of my Pokemon transferred from previous gens. Some Pokemon are still stuck in there, like Greninja, maybe Crabominal. You know, Pokemon like those are just stuck. I can't get them into any Pokemon games. They're not compatible with Sword and Shield or BrilliantDiamond Shining Pearl or Legends Arceus. They're just stuck there. And I like to have the living dex, meaning I have every single Pokemon in number order from every single gen, and it's like one giant puzzle, and every time I get a Pokemon and I don't have, I'll just piece it in there, so it's pretty fun. And if you obviously want to have the living dex, that is like over 1,000 Pokemon, because then you gotta count forms. There's Alolan forms, Hisuian forms, you get the point, Galarian forms, and then you also have things like, there's different forms for Pokemon, like you have Zygarde, and there's like the 50% and the 100%. So Pokemon Home, having that premium plan for 6,000 lets me have it all. There's also a mobile app for Pokemon Home, and from here you can actually have the GTS where you can put a Pokemon up for trade and ask what you want, and yeah, there you go. Pokemon Home is so significant because you can transfer all of your previous Pokemon. Here's my boy Rowlet. I love Rowlet. He's my boy. We've traveled through so many regions together, both in real life and in the video game. Unfortunately, my poor Rowlet is stuck in Sword and Shield. He can't go anywhere. He's just stuck in Sword and Shield. But in Scarlet and Violet, they added Rowlet to the game with the Decidueye event. And I will raise as many Rowlets as possible. I think I have like 5 of these guys. But I want my original Decidueye, and I want my Rowlet. And I can't because he's trapped in Sword and Shield and Pokemon Home is not coming. Another reason why Pokemon Home is so significant is because a lot of our competitive mons are trapped in the previous games. I have raised so many Pokemon because I got really into competitive last year, and I raised so many Pokemon from Sword and Shield, and I want those Pokemon into Scarlet and Violet because now I'm doing competitive for Scarlet and Violet. But a lot of those Pokemon remain the same. Like Amoonguss is still hugely viable, same as Grimmsnarl, and Torkoal's like high up into the ranks now. And I have all those Pokemon, and I have them competitively made already, but I don't want to make a new one. Because in my mind, the way it works is I have my original OG Pokemon that I want to use for everything because that's my buddy. He's got all the ribbons that he works so hard for, or she works so hard for, and I want him in the new games working on new achievements. I don't want to start over. If Pokemon Home can just hurry it up, it's any day now. That's the good news, is that it can be any day now that Pokemon Home is added to Scarlet and Violet. But oh man, it's taking way too long. We are now in April. It's already been a long time wait. We're on the 4th month of the new year, not to mention the year and a half of last year when the game was already released. That is all I have to say about Pokemon Home. I'm pretty sure I missed some important deets. But for you guys who are interested, download Pokemon Home. It's free. You get 1 box for the free plan. You can do a lot. That 1 box, you can use that to transfer all of your Pokemon back and forth to the different gens. So you can have your Pokemon from BrilliantDiamond and ShiningPearl, put it in Sword and Shield. I did that with my Luxray that I raised in BrilliantDiamond. Put it into Sword and Shield, went into rank, got him his Master Rank ribbon, and then sent it back to BrilliantDiamond and ShiningPearl. Pokemon Home is also really great because Pokemon doesn't have cloud saves. So if you're scared about your Pokemon being lost because your Switch breaks, it's a good idea to maybe store some of those Pokemon in Pokemon Home so that if you ever lost your Switch, you know, if you're taking your Switch on the train all the time or something, maybe it's a good idea to store some of those Pokemon that mean a lot to you because they'll be safe. You know, if you ever lose your Switch, it breaks, it gets stolen, you can always just log into your Pokemon Home account, and then from there, all your Pokemon are there as long as you, I don't know, change the password or something. Let me know down below, what do you guys think? Are you excited for Pokemon Home? Are you like clawing, saying, come on Nintendo, come on Pokemon, freaking add the update already? I don't know, let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Also, look at my Gengar. This is my Gengar shirt.